Hedonism, the pure pursuit of pleasure. Ethics, a personal view of morality and justice. I want to be a responsible traveller, find a little balance and give back some positivity to my chosen destination. I still want to have a good time, but can I do it in a good way? I am the ethical hedonist. Portugal has made its mark on the world. This small country created Europe's first empire and brought home unimaginable wealth. They created power and influence that they have never achieved again. But that's ancient history. I want to know what's happening in the Portugal of today. Most visitors to Portugal head for the sandy coves, pretty fishing villages and manicured golf courses of the south. But beyond the touristic resorts lies one of the least explored corners of Western Europe, a country of rugged landscapes, sophisticated cities, rural backwaters and contrasting ancient traditions.
I have to say I'm really excited to be back in continental Europe, you know? I mean, I go everywhere, but sometimes the best places are right in your doorstep, you know? And yet this country gave us international travel. They were the first Europeans to really get out there. I mean, think about it. They're surrounded by Spain, and then the only other thing they have is the Atlantic Ocean. So what do? They build boats. They're first nation to circumnavigate the globe. It's a big, big deal, and yet they're this tiny little country. It's got a lot going on at the moment, like a lot of countries in Europe, but it's, you know, it's a modern, progressive country. But they're really doing it for the green tourism, for the ecotourism, so I'm really keen to get to see, you know, proper ecotourism in Europe, continental Europe. Yeah, I'm not sure what to expect.
Age-old capital of the north, Porto, is a busy industrial and commercial centre, known for its rich heritage, thriving art and culture, and with geography that's hard on the feet but pleasant to the eye. It's a mysterious city that reveals its charms to the visitor through time, wandering through the maze of alleyways, taking in the old bohemian spirit of the city. Whilst in Porto, you have to sample its namesake and most famous product, the wonderful historical tipple known as port wine. To my delight, I've been offered an exclusive tour at the cellars of Real Companhia Velha.
Oh, look at this!
So, Bob, we're talking about the oldest of all the port wine producing companies. This Real Companhia Velha is in the market since 1756. Port is a culture. Port is an identity. We were created by the King Dom José I himself. Something really important in this panoramic is these barrels. They are all made here by our special professionals, and they are all done in French oak, which is amazing. And these smaller ones, we can hold 200 to 500 liters in each. But we're talking about those ones, Bob.
Whoa, this is a barrel. How many liters?
We are talking about a barrel that can hold from 10 up to 70,000 liters. 70,000 liters of port wine. This is exactly what makes the port have its character. The resting here in the peace, in the small lights, in this silence, which we're talking about a minimum of 3 years of aging, all the way to 145-year-old, which is our oldest.
There's a barrel in here,
yes,
145
indeed.
years old.
I will show you. And this wine is still aging. Today is 145 years old.
So this cork has been in here since 1867.
This barrel has been there since 1867.
Jesus.
1900.
1937. Spanish Civil War was going crazy.
1953.
Even 1984. This is the perfect marriage of two of my favorite things, alcohol and history. Just knowing that these barrels, the barrels themselves, 250 years old, some of them, and then you see these dates, 76. I was 6 years old when the port inside that went in, you know, and then you see 1953, 1944. It's hard to believe that, you know, at the worst year of World War II, they were still making port, and they still have it here. So you'll do a special order. If I want a bottle, you'll give me a bottle?
Exactly.
How much?
A symbolic price, around 1,500 to 1,000 euros per bottle. It's symbolic, concerning the years of this port.
Okay, will you give me a discount if I order 7?
I can give you a €10 discount. How about that? So Bob, let me show you now our vintage bottles. We are talking about some 200-year-old bottles that lie here, even more peaceful than the barrels we see in the cellars.
It's scary.
We are talking about a place that, as you can see, the cleaning lady doesn't come very often. And it's also a place of magic. 1890, 1820.
1820?
And 1871. 1765 is the oldest of all our port wines, vintage bottle.
It's in that?
It's in that dome. We cannot touch them.
I was going to say, no, is it dangerous to...
It's as soon as you twist a bottle, the wine is ruined.
Really?
Yes, this is a part of the tours, the part of the company that we don't show to anybody, because this is a very, very special area of this company. It's a patrimony without a price, basically. This has no price.
I have to take a look at the region this lovely stuff comes from, the breathtaking Douro Valley. I'd arranged a day with Álvaro, the head viticulturist at Quinta das Carvalhas.
This vineyard is 95 years old.
The vines?
The vines.
Oh, can we see them?
Look at for this plant. Look at for this. How many story that plant give you. Look at for the leaves. They're all different. Another different varieties. Look at for these leaves. Every different. The color red, the leaves different. So you can question why the people planting different varieties in some vineyard.
Why?
Why? A good question.
You don't know.
Good question. So we have 125 different varieties, and that varieties have a good adaptations in this land. That plants live here not in the last century, but live here always.
Really?
Have centuries. So it's very important to preserve that rich genetic we have here. We have a cornifesto, malvasia preta,
Never heard of them.
preto martinho, tinta francisca, tinto cão, blah 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 blah. But if you want to produce the best
Yeah, you
wine
sacrifice the quantity.
in this land, you must found that equilibrium, the balance, the quality is not spectacular. It's very, very, very spectacular. It's a singular. But we must found this.
I love it.
We don't use herbicides. We leave the grass and we cut 2 times by here. We introduce the biodiversity.
Biodiversity. It's a magic word, huh?
It's a magic word. But functional biodiversity.
Yeah. So it's not because they're pretty, it's because they stop the soil washing down into
Stop
this.
the soil, and we know some problems in the vineyard. We have the solutions in natural.
Álvaro had so much he wanted to show me, there was never going to be enough time. But I had to see the special work being done with a feminine touch.
We need 2 meters square to produce 1 kilos to grapes to the quality. Here's the secret.
It's solar power.
Exactly.
Harnessing the power of the sun.
This work is do it by women because we need the ability quickly about the hands, and the women are.
And men can't do that?
Yes, we can. They can do, but I prefer the woman.
Me too.
It's logical for all reason. Ciao, ladies.
I was willing to lend the workers a hand, maybe even learn a new skill. But Álvaro insisted we take a liquid lunch, appreciate the grounds, and get to know the intense quality he was speaking of. Maybe he's brainwashing me, but I swear I can taste the history and tradition behind every very, very, very good bottle. Perception is everything, but I love it when a product has a passionate story behind it.
The shoulders are dropping, you know. The eyelids are half-mast. I love my work. This is fantastic. It's hedonism. Oh, I'm guilt-free because this is so bloody ethical. Biodiversity and organic growing and all these permaculture terms. I never thought I was going to see that, you know, at a booze up. Álvaro is, I've met a lot of passionate people, a lot of experts, a lot of people who knew what they were talking about. But this guy is off the scale. Is this hedonismo in a glass?
Yeah, it's good. No, it's very, very, very good.
Cheers to that.
Luxury comes in many forms, and today I'm checking out Carmo's, a brand new low-impact exclusive home hotel on the outskirts of the city. The lovely tranquil atmosphere and personal touches of decoration is the perfect backdrop to the main event, a hedonistic spa experience with a difference. I'm feeling a little vulnerable. First, my expert masseuse Rosanna gives me a very vigorous salt rub to get the blood flowing.
The skin is coming off.
Now it's time for a bath. In goat's milk?
Are you baking a cake or something? There's so much stuff going in there. I can't say I'm at the relaxing stage yet. I'm at the worried stage. Apprehension. Covered in salt, wearing nothing but 6 square inches of recycled paper. It's good, but it's bad. It's good, but it's bad. It's good. Oh, is it? Look at this. Oh, it's good. Okay, I take it back, Rosanna. I take it back. It's good. It's very good. Welcome to Portugal. The milk is great. Come on in. Can't remember what day it is, what country it is, my name. I'm gone. I'm gone. Portugal and your wonderful goats and their wonderful milk. I owe you one. For once, I don't care if this is ethical. I'll find some way to even this out.
My love for trains is no secret. It's truly the best way to travel. Roomy carriages with great views, no queuing up at security, no excess baggage charges, just a smooth, comfortable ride, and it takes you from central city to central city. I arrive in Lisbon with great expectations. People rave about the place, the architecture, the views, the food, and the lively atmosphere. Lisbon has experienced a renaissance in recent years, with a contemporary culture that is alive and thriving and making its mark in today's Europe. The city enchants travellers with an easygoing charm that makes it a very popular city destination. While in Lisbon, I'm staying at an urban eco-hotel with real conviction, which is leading a trend in the modern travel market. The Inspira Santa Marta Hotel has created an outstanding, luxurious customer experience in an ecologically and socially sustainable hotel. From the recycling system, to the huge reductions in waste of energy and water, to the locally sourced materials and organic produce, it's still hedonistic, so it ticks all of my boxes. I don't have much time here, so I need to see some sights and get a feel for the place, but at high speed. I was intrigued by the name, so booked in with We Hate Tourism Tours.
You know, if there is one thing that you will know for sure, it's that we are really bad drivers.
On these little streets, it's crazy.
This was almost like an accident. I was taking friends to see the city. Some of them were saying, Bruno, you need to start a business with this. And I just said, I hate tourism tours, man. I'm not a, I'm not a guide. I don't want to be one. I just love to share my love with the city and the way I see it. I'm not afraid really to show all the bad things that we have, because it's true.
Do people want to see the bad things?
They don't want to see the bad things. They want to see the real things. And with us, I think they really feel it.
Warts
how
and all.
real the things are. Yeah. Hang on, we are going to Alfama, literally entering in Alfama.
There's no road here.
Now we will jump.
Whoa. Oh, wow, this is narrow. I want to come down here on a bicycle.
You haven't seen nothing, huh? But you will see, you will see.
I don't know if this is eco-friendly or even pedestrian-friendly, but it feels like hanging out with new friends rather than a rigid guided tour.
Oh, I know, we really have to stop. What are they singing? Alfama.
Alfama is the one.
This is pretty impressive.
Yeah, Alfama, It's the oldest neighborhood in the city.
Okay.
Because it was also the only that survived the earthquake. Okay.
So they're so strong that even earthquakes can't.
In a way, yeah. People from here, they really like to put it that way. You can feel it wandering in the street, you know, talking to people. It's funny to feel how they are really passionate. For me, what is incredible is the amount of people that I have that they are returning and returning. For me, it's really amazing to have this feedback for the people, because I really think that they actually really fall in love, you know. And to be honest, I think Lisbon, it's really like any Portuguese girl. They are hard to get. They are hard. It's not easy for you to get, you know, like a Portuguese girl. Like it's not easy for you just to know the city, you know, like this. But once you embrace that, then it's love forever. Yeah? It's like love forever. Yeah, it's true.
I'm not a big fan of looking at captive animals for my entertainment. When at zoos or marine parks, I can't help but wish they were in the wild where they belong. But I've been told the Lisbon Aquarium is a very ethical attraction, so who better to show me around than the boss himself, João Falcato.
The mission of the whole thing of having an aquarium is ocean conservation. Basically, the animals that we have here are ambassadors for their own species in nature. The whole concept of Oceanario, it's the one ocean. So the way we represent it is we have 4 of the 5 oceans represented in each corner of the building, and they all join together in this huge tank that represents the union of the oceans, where we have animals from all over the world living happily together, like we would wish that all the humans would live as well. Our objective is to educate a little bit our public, but for them to come here, they really need to have fun first. Being able to feel like they are divers, seeing an underwater world that normally people are not aware of, and mainly explain to them that all of us can do something for its conservation. Everything has an impact on the oceans. 80% of the pollutions of the oceans come from land. So it's up to us and the way we behave to conserve this, and it's a responsibility of everybody. To achieve that, we have to have an amazing exhibit, have a great experience for whoever visits us, and we hope that when they leave our institution, they will feel they want to contribute for this to exist for our children.
So, from ocean conservation to a complete fish massacre. I'm lucky enough to be here on the day of St. Anthony, and everyone's out on the streets consuming vast quantities of grilled sardines in his holy name. I'm told tonight could be quite the party, but I have no idea what it's all about.
It's the same of the Sw de Rio de Janeiro.
Ah, so it's like Mardi Gras. Okay.
This is an amazingly fun and welcoming atmosphere, and the pageantry is spectacular. Different neighbourhoods compete in front of large crowds, the mayor of the city and stringent judges scoring each club on music, costume and choreography.
Which one? Which one was it? The gold. Oh, just gone. I saw them. They were good.
It's the best.
You think?
It's the best. I think no.
It looks like the performers are having even more fun than us.
You made quite an effort tonight. I'm very impressed.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What's your village or district?
Alfama.
Alfama?
Yes.
It's the most famous neighborhood in Lisbon.
Are you going to win the competition?
Oh yes,
Well,
of course.
Alfama, every year Alfama wins.
Wins. Yeah.
Yes,
Almost.
it's true.
Yes.
And she is one of the greatest fado singers in the country.
Risos, gargalhadas, fados, guitarradas, hoje em Alfama é demónio. E em cada canto, suave encanto de trono de Santo António.
Hey! Raquel!
I'm directed downtown to Alfama, tonight's party central. This is supposed to be a religious occasion, right? I guess I can't say I've lived until I've tried one of the Saint's sardines. Is this a sustainable fishery? Are they a threatened species? Nobody really cares right now, including me. Yum! At about 1:30 in the morning, things crank up a notch. Yep, it's starting to get pretty messy, and the clubs that performed in the parade make their way back slowly to their home neighbourhoods, where I'm assuming they will continue to party. It's a good thing tomorrow's a public holiday, because Lisbon is going to be nursing one hell of a hangover.
Look at the bus is shaking, look. Oh, they really take their public holiday seriously here. It's nuts. It's bedlam. It's only one small part of a very big town. The world and his wife, everybody's out. This country will grind to a halt tomorrow.
All this is in the name of the patron saint of matchmaking. And there seems to be a bit of a riot going on in front of an unassuming statue of the man himself.
You should go.
You should
Here
left
to
the
the
coin.
state.
So-
You have any coin, like
Yeah.
1 centime coin. You can go charge.
Why, is it good luck or something?
Good
No,
luck
no, no.
to have a girlfriend.
Not.
2 coins, so I get 2
Okay.
chances. So what do I do?
The coin should be into the book. If you want to have luck with a woman.
You ready?
1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Terrible.
We have
Now
another
that sums up my luck with women. Not even halfway. You ready? Here, one more.
one. 1, 2.
Oh, hit the baby's leg. Bloody baby.
Okay.
So that's it. No luck with the women.
I need more money.
I wonder what Saint Antonio would think of all this. Anyway, I'm sure a few matches have been made tonight.
But you're bald.
I head away from the coast into Portugal's sleepy rural interior. It's here amongst the tiny villages where you can witness a traditional farming existence. People working to maintain a connection with the land and a centuries-old way of life. The cork oak forests of the interior are biodiversity hotspots, an essential water catchment zone for the people of Lisbon and habitat for the critically endangered Iberian lynx. So here's the question for you. How can harvesting a tree be environmentally friendly? I don't know much about it, but I've been very curious since the wine industry is rapidly moving over to screw tops and plastic wine stoppers. How is that affecting these guys, the seasonal workers, who I'm told have the highest paid agricultural jobs in the world? Cork evangelist Carlos was on hand to tell me more.
This looks pretty easy. There we go.
No, it isn't.
It's not easy.
No.
But they're just whacking a tree.
No, that's very sharp. Be careful. You have really no idea right now how much strength you need to apply to actually make the cut. But if you apply too much strength, you're going to damage the tree. You're looking at a tree that is probably 80 years old, which means it's in its infancy. So,
Infancy? 80 years old?
yeah, it's a teenager, to be more precise. If you consider an average lifespan 250 to 170 years, this is a baby.
Don't go away. You're leaving me with this. I'm about to hurt this child.
You hold the
Yeah.
Okay, and he's gonna show you
How strong?
much strength
Yeah.
you know
Okay,
you
okay,
need. Okay, of course.
Okay, like that. Okay. Harder? More.
You're literally scratching the surface.
Much harder? Oh, and he's pushing it apart. Okay.
You gotta pry it open.
I keep missing. And then... It's coming off, look at this.
You know, you have to cajole it.
Yeah, that's what the end of the axe is
Yeah.
shaped for. Hey, it's so light. It doesn't weigh anything. It really is cork, look at that.
This is the only solid in the world that when you compress it on one end, it's not going to increase its size proportion on the other end. And that's why it's used from the best wine bottles in the world to the space shuttle to designer shoes by Christian Dior and everything in between that you can think of.
What's on the space shuttle that's made of this?
Several things.
Really?
Cork has been present in the US space program since the 60s.
But the trees don't get hurt by this process, right?
Not at all, not at all. This has been going on for thousands of years. And if anyone has any doubts that conservancy laws can work, these forests have been protected in some shape or form since the Middle Ages in this country. So it does work.
The Middle Ages.
Yep.
And we think sustainability and conservation is a new thing. The gas thing is that they're managing this so well that in 9 years, they'll be able to come back and do this all again. totally sustainable.
Cork is replacing plastics. Cork is replacing composites that are not natural with natural materials like cork. And doing that in NASA, doing that in the aerospace industry, doing that in the aeronautical industry. Why should the wine industry be different? Creating a screw cap emits 25 times more CO2 than creating a cork stopper. And what I think people need to know is what their purchasing decisions are supporting. And this is a good thing to support.
Welcome to the Algarve, one of the most well-known tourist destinations in Europe and certainly the busiest in Portugal. Blessed with beautiful sandy beaches and a wonderful warm Mediterranean climate all year round. The population of the region triples during the peak season, transforming into a vacation playground for North European hedonists. Apologies, but this type of destination doesn't usually appeal to the likes of me. Don't get me wrong, I love my downtime as much as the next person, but I don't tan well, and these cookie-cutter, kit-set beach towns feel so void of culture and interest. But I'm here in search of something new. I'm looking for the other Algarve. I'm staying at Aldea de Pedralva, a village that was almost totally abandoned and ruined, before Antonio Ferreira saw an opportunity to reconstruct the village into a hotel and embrace the slow movement philosophy.
This part of the Algarve is very special, and I think it's very creative. You can do things quite different from the traditional Algarve. So this is like almost creativity to rebuild the village again, and now it's an hotel. The concept of our village is to stop the people a little and to develop the little communities of fishermen, of agricultures, of village, and this is what we do here. This project began like I want to move my life, and I work in advertising in the city. We sell products to people that they don't really need to buy it, so we...
Honesty from an advertising man.
Yeah.
Really?
And now I'm trying
you sell
to...
things we don't need. Who knew?
And now I'm trying to keep my...
Are you getting your karma back in balance?
Yeah, I'm trying to. This is the real life.
I'm just outside the town of Castro Marim to visit a nature park that's also home to a very important industry, salt production. Roja Diaz from the Quinta da Fornalha Artisan Salt Collective is on hand to tell me why I should care more about where my salt comes from.
This is a mixture of salty water and sweet water from the river Guadiana and the salty water from the sea. It's a natural reserve because it's a hot spot and for water birds. A hot spot in the sense in that although it's very tiny and small, there's a very big group of birds, around 150, protected because they're endangered.
150 species in this little area here?
That you can find them here. Although it doesn't look like it, no. It's a factory of salts. But it's not a like in the normal sense of factory. It's an open air and it's hand harvesting factory.
The reserve is also home to large-scale mechanised salt production, but Roja's very keen to show me how they harvest their small salinas using the same methods employed here for over 5,000 years.
For me, I really like it, and I really enjoy that what we do in the salt pans. It's there's a zero of footprint, like eco footprint, because everything is done by the sun and the wind. There is no carbon usage in it, and also we maintain the habitats for the birds. For me, it's the perfect activity because it goes along with my ethics. You can see this is so fragile, you know.
It looks like ice, doesn't it? It looks like I could walk on it.
Yeah, but you can't. If you stick a finger on it, you'll just make a hole. Doof.
Oh my God, it's like paper. But you know what? It doesn't feel like table salt that I'm familiar with, you know?
You are familiar with refined salt.
Yeah.
The industrial salt, from the total production, 80% of the industrial salt goes to the chemical industry. And their interest is having sodium chloride. The problem is that when they bleach it and they are cleaning it to make it white and presentable, in this process, all the other minerals are washed away.
Yeah.
And you get only...
And I need that stuff.
Of course.
Okay, I gotta have a go. Can I have a go?
Yeah.
Take it gently and going very smoothly to avoid that. You need to be exactly at the same a distance from the bottom.
You said this was easy. Or you said it was simple. It's not simple. It's a fine art. God, think about how many times a day you pick up a salt cellar or you sprinkle salt on your food or something. Think of the winter when you grit the roads with it. I mean, it's an amazing substance, and but you really take it for granted. You really take it for granted. It's always there. It's cheap as chips. And I'd no idea of the differences between the industrial one, which is probably all I've ever eaten in my entire life until today. But it's really nice. And then the actual harvesting of it, it's lovely. I love that it's just the sun and the wind and some very smart, very old know-how. It's brilliant. It's very humbling. There's something very relaxing and calming about it. It's wonderful. It's really, really nice. Could do with a glass of water though, Louise. I'm a bit thirsty after all that stuff.
So for me, this is a new kind of travelling. I'm off to do some woofing.
Come inside.
Ready to woof. I don't know what that is, but I'm willing to do it.
Nice. Worldwide opportunity on organic farms. So that says it all in one sentence. But in the end, it's just people learn how to live on a farm and how to do all the things.
So that's the opportunity bit, right? It's the opportunity to
it's an
exchange knowledge.
Knowledge to food and place to stay, to the labor you do during the day. This is our living room, more or less.
I like it. Open air, open plan.
And then over here we got our pizza oven where we make the pizza.
Excellent.
And our bread. Whereas this is our solar cooker. Just runs.
What the hell is that? It's like something from a James Bond movie.
The local people say we speak with God with this one. You want to see how it works? This is the zucchini we just harvested from the garden. Okay, now we put the pot on the solar cooker. It's an old satellite dish which we transformed. We stuck lots of mirrors in, transformed them into a solar cooker.
So how do you know where to put it, Klaus?
There has a little focus here, and you will see now slowly the shadow move into the center.
Whoa, it's bright! Oh.
You need to be shortened a bit. You see something?
I can see. Well, only when I look at the sun. Klaus.
Okay, there you go.
Look at this! Are we going to take over the world or demand ransom from the UN or something?
Direct contact with God now.
This is brilliant. You're wacky scientists. So we're pointing the rays of the sun at the pot. Klaus, come on. This is nuts. I mean, it's so nuts that you're probably genius. A mad genius at that.
I like to be a bit crazy. That's okay. That's no problem with that. But I like to cook on a solar cooker. If it's anything else, we're working on many other projects with the wind generator, with the warm water to make warm water from sun. In the end, look, anything can happen and you still can cook. Yeah. Well, what's about if you don't get any gas anymore for the gas cooker? Well, okay, turn off the electricity.
People don't realize, I mean, when I go home and I flick the switch on the wall or in the cooker or whatever, lights come on, the gas comes on, whatever it is. You don't need any of those things, do you?
You wouldn't even realize that there's no electricity if you will use this all the time.
There's something, you know what, I think self-sufficiency is the new rock and roll.
Well, it's fun, as you can see now, no?
Yeah, cool. And you get to wear shades.
Ah, yeah, see, there's steam coming out already.
Yeah, already. Hey, Klaus, I think the reception for your TV stations is going to be pretty crap now. You have great food. Woo! So where is everybody?
They're all working down in the polytunnel in the greenhouse and doing some weeding in the morning because it's not so hot.
Oh, they look really good.
Woofing is all voluntarily. People do that because they like to do it. And like this, you get total different energy. And you also get different energy back because people work out of themselves, out of their heart to say, yes, I like this. This is my kind of life. Don't be not like this.
No? Where?
If you poke them too, it's like only you put down once because, you know, if you get poked once,
more chance of hitting more potatoes.
Exactly.
In my country, it's illegal to kill potatoes. Is it spreading? Is it spreading like a virus?
It's exploding in Portugal because when we started, we had like 40 woof farms, and now it's 150 in 8 years. Yeah.
That's great.
It looks like a jungle, but organic farming also says that you don't need to kill all the weeds all the time. because it's all natural, because we don't use any pesticides and no herbicides from all our vegetables. We don't get any nutritions anymore because there's nothing in it, because they're just being pumped up with fertilizer.
What's up, Dak? God, that's tasty, isn't it?
This is a lot of fun. A brand new group who don't know each other, and they're having a great time, thrown in at the deep end.
We're looking for workers.
It's obviously not all about hard work and gardening or throwing safety standards out the window. It's about random new experiences you would never get at home in suburbia. It's about having a great time while discovering a new way of life.
What are we doing here?
I'll make a little common area. We put a bench in here. In the end, it could be like a sweat lodge, no?
A sauna. You really think we need a sauna in a country this hot?
This strawberry is food for the donkey and for the horse.
All right, so it's a bit of fun for us, a little bit of shelter, but eventually someone's going to eat this.
Eventually, animals going to eat this, exactly.
And we need one here.
One more in here.
Jumbo, natural man Lego. This is perfect.
Let's hop on the car, we drive back to the farm again.
I smell food, Klaus. I like that.
Yes.
After all this adventurous woofing, we deserve a healthy lunch. And my favourite thing about this place is there's no shortage of crispy, fresh, organic produce to keep us going. The food is so simple, and it doesn't need anything fancy done to it, just the basic ingredients and their complex flavours. Having seen this great nutritious food harvested just hours ago, and then getting to taste and feel the difference, these young people will never look at food in the same way. I'm picked up from the slow village at very slow o'clock. It's a little before 6 a.m. and the mysterious, slightly uncommunicative Nicolau has taken me to the rugged Atlantic coast to witness the dangerous traditional harvest of a strange little shellfish.
It's called perceve. In this area of Portugal we call it perceves. Basically the ocean decides where we go, what we do, size of the tide according to the moon, and also who's been there before. Where you see white water, where the ocean is hitting, that's where they are.
Okay, like on this little outcrop here, this
exactly,
rock.
That's where they are.
They better be tasty. They better be bloody tasty. You know when you go to the beach and there's all those big signs that don't swim here, dangerous currents, no lifeguard, high winds. This is where he works. How do you even get down there?
We go down with mainly ropes, occasionally footpaths that have been carved in the cliffs over time. Ropes are always present in these cliffs. It's sort of climbing, alpinism activity as well as fishing.
Alright, this is a bit much. I wasn't prepared for this. The ropes look like dreadlocks and the ladder, sure, it's a death trap. There is no margin for error here. Since I'm not from around here and definitely not wearing the right clothes, I won't be collecting any food today. But I think just getting here is dangerous enough for me. But what a spot. It's so isolated. I have it all to myself. No bucket and spade brigade here.
Perceives to grow, they need first of all cold water and agitated, strong ocean. They need impact of waves on the rocks. They need oxygen, and they feed off plankton, and they always grow in the most difficult places.
That's convenient.
Yeah, it's very convenient
for them, not for you.
Yeah. As you can see, it is very exposed to strong ocean swells. Not only swells, very strong currents. When you work on a rock, you need to leave some, because if you take everything away, there won't be any more perceived on that rock to reproduce, and also for future eggs to attach themselves to. So you, in a way, you sterilize that rock by cleaning it completely.
You'd think these things would be worth a fortune, but Nicolau also works as a nature guide and repeatedly tells me he's only in it for the lifestyle.
Again, it comes back to adventure, adrenaline, and freedom. And you really feel the rhythm of what the ocean is doing. There's a constant rhythm. When you are working, you are constantly looking. You're looking at what you're doing, but you're looking at the ocean. When you're in that concentration, you really, you have the rhythm in you. And that's very important. There's no much room for mistakes, because 1 second of not looking or not being concentrated can be fatal. So you need to be always very focused and have luck. You need to be lucky in this profession. But it's a wonderful life. Here you're in a very different Algarve, which is beginning to be discovered. This particular part of the Algarve still has been preserved. It is a very authentic and wild, still very wild landscape, and therefore we need to be careful and not repeat same mistakes that were done in the other part of the Algarve. Still very authentic and wild. I hope we can keep it that way.
Rota Vicentina is a brand new 350-kilometre walking trail down the coast of southwest Portugal. It'll be at one end of the proposed Grand Route long-distance path stretching all the way over to Russia.
So we're at the bottom.
Yeah, we're at the bottom of this Grand Route.
This is not my first time walking.
It's not?
No, I've done it before.
Right, nice.
It's a bit slow, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the perfect rhythm. It's the most natural thing. It's very good for your body. It's something that you can do, for example, with children. It's very pleasant for everyone. It's very natural. You don't need much. You just need your legs.
Lots more people are doing lots more walking. You know, it's become almost a social event at the weekends. You know, hundreds of people taken to the hills and mountains and whatever else. But because you're going at this slow pace, you can stop. You can sniff the proverbial flowers. You can sniff the literal, actual flowers. And it's better that way, you know? Have you been on a train or a bus or a car zooming by at 90 miles an hour and thinking, oh, what's that? Oh, before you've even finished the thought, it's gone. When you're walking, you've got all day to take it all in and you can make a connection. So is this a good example of slow tourism?
Yeah, exactly. We have this very focused purpose on nature and landscape, you know, and we would like people to enjoy the region in the best way they can. So this is what it's all about.
Typically, how much will we walk in a day?
Typically between 15 to 23, 25, but in average 20 kilometers.
Okay.
And that would make about 5-6 hours a day.
Okay, that's not too tough, right?
It's not too much because you can just leave in the morning not too early and arrive and still have time to enjoy the place where you're staying and, you know, doing something.
For me, I think walking is the best velocity or best rhythm to get to know the countryside or the region, because you can watch everywhere what's growing to your left or to your right, and you get in contact with the people easier, you have a chat. And it's a perfect animal for this, because he also is very slowly. Yes, we have to adapt ourselves to him, to their rhythm. And he is a special slowly donkey. Mocha, he doesn't like to go uphill. So.
Should I, I'll do the motivation at the rear.
It works. Ah, he needs to pee.
Hey! You're contributing to the environment. You're embarrassing him. Don't look over that way, look over that way. There you go, he sets the pace, eh?
Yeah.
I get it, you're right.
Again and again.
There should be a lot more walking. It's got to be the most ethical form of transportation. It's got to be the most ethical form of tourist activity that there is. So, get up off your arse and do more walking.
A last supper to enjoy in Portugal, but tonight I may have to wait, as this is the region's premier slow restaurant, and I'm starving.
We'll start with olive oil, a little garlic.
Oh, the way you're cutting it's interesting.
Yeah. I started in 92 here, and I become a slow food member in 99.
Is Portuguese traditional food, is it slow food anyway, by definition?
Yeah, it's very easy way. Very easy way to cook. Because you can buy local products, we can help the growers, the farmers, the fishermen, and the local economy. I buy what I need here.
Born from a reaction to the fast food explosion of the 80s, thankfully slow food doesn't have to take all night.
That's butter.
The philosophy strives to preserve traditional and regional cuisine with ingredients characteristic of the local ecosystem.
Oh.
There's so much to be said for knowing where your food comes from. It's ethical and it's delicious.
And you also suck the head.
The Algarve has really surprised me and far exceeded my expectations in my quest for ethical hedonism. I found a wonderful, unspoiled part of southern Europe hidden behind a veil of some of the world's most garish coastal developments. It's no secret that Portugal is a great travel destination. What is less well known about this corner of Europe is how fun and rewarding it is to get off the beaten track, get involved and learn something. I never thought I'd say it, but like a lot of other Irish people who come here, I might end up making repeat visits to the Algarve. Portugal has taught me to slow down when I travel and look at what's behind your preconceived ideas of a place. I've learned how important it is, even as a visitor, to foster a meaningful connection with the land that sustains us. She's shown me perfect examples of alternative, responsible tourism, and I've had a great time. I think I might be in love.